time. So welcome everyone. For those of you that see this later, I usually edit this down. Um, I counted last night, we are on day 10, or actually this would be day 11. Oh my God, I don't know why I can't get that count right. Day 11 or day 12 of me doing lives, because I challenged myself to do 30 days or 30 lives. It's not going to be consecutive days because I'm only doing Monday through Friday. So for those of you that don't know me, welcome. Thank you so much. My name is Cindy. I'm at Simply Cindy. I am a medium. I have a lot of modalities that I do: astrology, tarot, energy healing. I'm a hypnotherapist. I have a science and medical background, though that's not what I do. I'm a medium, first of all. That's an old life that I had. Anyway, so we have been talking and talking and talking, and y'all have been listening and listening and listening to me doing. We've been talking about the lunar eclipses that's coming. I went ahead and did a tarot spread because I was here on here before, and I did the Virgo thing and was overworking it. So with the pandemic happening and all of that, I stepped away. I've come back to do full time this year. I have just started. I think I started in January. So the algorithm doesn't really know me yet again, because I'm not doing it like I was doing it before. I'm not just doing tarot. There's gonna be all of it that will, all my modalities that I do. So anyway, we've been talking and talking about this eclipse with astrology, and so I was inspired the other day to do tarot. So I did tarot. I went in meditation, I made up a spread, and then I came out, and then I've been doing the tarot. Well, yesterday we finished all 12 signs. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the 12 signs. That is my spread. It's not like a Celtic spread or anything like that. It's just my spread to help you transition through the lunar eclipse. With eclipses, you don't have to do much. You don't have to work. You can be aware of what's going on, and that's okay, so that when things happen, you're okay, and you're not frightened, or you're not too anxious, or you're not in the fight and flight mode. People can't communicate in my lives, so that doesn't help, especially like to build a community that we're trying to rebuild. And like today, I'm gonna do open charts and open tarot. So like we're just gonna have a fun Friday for at least an hour or hour and a half or something like that. Kind of depends on when everybody gets in here. And the people that I want to do are those people, the people that have access to me first to let me see their chart if they choose, are like Kathy and you that have been here. I was gonna say you people. You're my friends who have been here since I started doing this live. I want you to be able to get, a question answered, or us look at your chart, and maybe you have a question about the way that, things are going in your chart, and, you kind of look at it and you're like, but nobody ever talks about this part, and I don't know what this means, kind of stuff like that. We can also look at how this is going to affect you personally with the lunar eclipse and then the solar eclipse coming. Just any question like that. Excuse me. I told you I was opening myself up to mediumship. I explained that yesterday. Mediumship is who I am. I am a medium. So I always have my antennas out. It's really hard to explain, but because I'm older and practiced and seasoned and put boundaries around my energy since I was young. When I was young, it was really bad. Um, like The Sixth Sense, all those movies, all those stories. I mean, think about that. That was like, yeah. I mean, I think sometimes it was worse. Sometimes, until I grew up and I understood, and then I learned that, and then because I have such a affinity for science and medicine and chemistry and all of that, I searched for what is this that I have and why do I have it? And then once I understood that, then I was like, okay, how do I control this? What do I do with it? Right. So that's my whole journey. I'm in my 50s. So I've had a big 50 years with this stuff. I'm over 50. So I've had a big 50 years with this stuff. I'm very, very trained. Um, and so I have to like, I explained this yesterday, but I have to like open myself consciously up to mediumship in the way that I'm going to do it here on YouTube, right? Anytime I have clients, I've had clients that I've had for years and years, almost a decade now, maybe even more than a decade. Um, I can do mediumship when I focus on it. I don't have to like open myself up to like have when I see a client, when I see somebody that I've seen before, when I see somebody new, that's consciously doing it. But there's something to opening up to a bigger group. Um, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like shining my light brighter. And so more spirits, energies can see me. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's really hard to explain. It's not like I can't do mediumship when I don't open myself up. I'm always open. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. But I have boundaries, and you guys would call them beings. I don't know what you call them. It's me, it's us, it's our bigger selves, but it's vetted through them. So any energies, any spirits, your loved ones would be vetted through my energy, through my beings, through my higher self, whatever you want to call that. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different belief system. Um, so I know that when I do get something through, when I have my boundaries up, like I've had them, if something comes through, I know that there's a reason, right? I know that it's been vetted and they know that I would want to say this, right? The ones that are holding the gate, we'll just call it that. I don't know how to explain that. We'll just say that they're at the gate and they're like not only letting certain people in. Okay, we'll just leave that scenario. It's really hard to explain, but I'm trying to help you guys understand. That now that I've like decided to shine brighter, I've decided to like do this on YouTube again. I've decided like I had to shut it down because way back in the day, you probably don't even, maybe there are a few of you that remember 2008, 2009 when I was on your indigo path. This is before the algorithm, before, they started, not only letting certain things go through. This is when it was like open market on YouTube. I used to have 5 and 10,000 people on my lives, and so that's a lot of energy and a lot of people's loved ones on the other side that I'm like um, having to wade through. I was like, I remember it being rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of people, of spirits on the other side when I would do these lives. So I had to like learn to curtail it, learn to like only let certain amount through for my energy, for y'all's energy, for the crowd. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but since then I have not opened it up because it was so much. It was a lot. I remember at one point my higher self taking over and me kind of going to the side. And I let everybody know that. I remember that people that were around me, I was like, this was really huge. And it was like 10,000 people that I had live. So I know that's a big number. You probably don't get that number anymore. That was when it was like an open, there was no algorithm that was put in place to like you could have 10,000 people on a live. I mean, maybe you could now, I don't know, but that's how much it was. And it wasn't even that it wasn't that YouTube did lives. It was a live through a third party that I did it through, if that makes any sense. So I don't know why I'm talking about that, but I have decided to open myself up again for YouTube. So I will be doing mediumship. I already kind of knew that it was coming. And I am starting to be awakened at night. I am starting to be awakened. So I know that some of y'all, when I was telling the other story, they were like, yeah, the boundaries. And I know you want to hear my journey. So I am starting to, that's kind of why I'm a little late to coming on today, because I am starting to be awakened. There are starting to be like visible, I'll just say, I don't want to scare anybody. This is all normal to me, but it's like, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to like frighten you. So just know that there are visible signs that I'm opening myself up to all of this. And, it's my choice. I get to do it if I want. So, yeah. So if you understand and you understand um, that this is part of my work, you guys are welcome to buy me coffee. I would honestly, I'm going to talk to everybody about this later, but I honestly would like to have enough people just buy me coffee where that could pay my bills, and I can just sit on live and talk to you guys and do readings and do that. Like, I would love that, you know? Um, so yeah, that sounds like a good plan. So let's talk about what's going on today and in the next couple of days this weekend. So remember I told you Venus and Saturn were going to go exact. See, they're exact right now. So we talked about this being in Pisces the other day, but I'll talk to you guys if you haven't seen my other stuff. Venus is asking, I think it's a delay because best vibes from you, Puerto Rico. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's probably a delay. So, um, yeah, if I don't get people, I'm just gonna have to like, I only have like 40 minutes to be on. Anyway, so let's get back to here. So Saturn and Venus are together. They're exact. Remember, they were having the conversation. Saturn is asking you to be and asking Venus to be responsible in Pisces. Yes, you can be dreamy. Yes, but have you had your boundaries? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you doing the things that you're supposed to do for you, not the ones that everybody else wants you to do? Are you attracting your beauty instead of going after something like to make it love you or to make it like you or to make it be with you, right? Like Saturn is asking you to be responsible. That's kind of what's going on here. And we're about to have Mars come in. Mars, if you look at my other video, I talk about how Mars and Venus work together, kind of like they're kind of like married, kind of. But because I feel like each of them are part of, you have each of them of, you have each planet in you, within you, right? So hi, hi, Angela. I'm so glad you're here too. Yeah, I was just saying if it doesn't go out and if I'm having too many problems, then I'm gonna have to like go because I've got to leave in like 40 minutes anyways. But I'm glad you joined. Thank you so much. Um, so I'm just talking about Venus and Saturn. They're exact right now. We have the sun moving further away from Neptune. So remember I said that you guys were probably feeling a little off, confused, or maybe like I thought I saw something the right way, but I'm not seeing that anymore. It's getting more clear. But the big aspect today is that Venus and Saturn are together. They're having that conversation because Mars is about to enter in here. And I feel like this is about you attracting and holding your boundaries. There's boundaries that need to be held. For everybody, it's different because Pisces is a different area in your sign, right? Um, Saturn is asking you to be responsible, to like say, be mature enough to say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And because this is another aspect, because Pluto is over here talking to the North Node, which is our destiny where we're going. Right now it's talking to the sun, but it's like keeps going back and forth, right? So this is about um and with the sun moving into here and Chiron and Mercury, this is about, and there's a wound here. Remember, there's a wound. There's Chiron, the key, the wound. This is about you really forming what you want. That's Venus. What do I want? How do I see my life? How do I see relationships? That's the South Node that you're working with. How do I see relationships around me? Have I done the right thing? Do I have the right people? What can I do when we have such an attachment to some of these people? Um, how can we change this? How can it be more balanced? How can I do this without such a big disruption? I don't want to hurt myself, Chiron, or other people. How are we going to change this? How is um, this? Hey, Catherine, how is this? How do we do this? Right. And right now, you're not supposed to know the answers. You're supposed to just begin to see. We're going to be working on this for the next 18 months, right? Um, because you can't just, there are some people, I'm trying to give a scenario. We'll just say a family member, right? Mm, maybe it's like a young, okay, maybe it's a young, I'm trying to get the right scenario. Maybe it's a child that you have, right? It's a grown up, they're grown up, they're adult, right? And they go over your boundaries all the time. They're still living in your house, and we kind of already know it's fine to live in your house. Um, because of the way that the economy and the state of the way everybody is right now. That's not the point. The point is they're going over your boundaries. The relationship between you and them is not balanced. But there are some things from a long time ago that maybe you guys have to hash out, right? So you're not immediately going to walk away from them in this lunar eclipse, but maybe you say, okay, let's talk about how these things can change in our house together since we're living together. And then maybe that person decides, your child says, well, I'm grown up enough and I'm now making some good money and maybe I can't leave right now, but maybe I can work on in the next year, saving the money and like getting out. But until then, let's do this, let's do that. Will you be sure to tell me when I trigger you? Will you be like this? These are things that you're going to be working on, right? But that's what Saturn is asking you to do with asking Venus to do, asking you to do with Venus is like honor yourself. What do you want? Take responsibility, be an adult. And it's happening in your house of Pisces, but we're all moving to this. I got to do it and honor myself, right? I've got to balance these relationships. I've got to learn how to do diplomacy in a way that's not so egotistical, where it's like, I'm going to be diplomatic, but that's just because that person doesn't really need to know that part. It doesn't mean I'm going to keep something from them so that because I think that they're going to get hurt. That's a different thing. It's just because that's not part of the equation. That's being diplomatic, right? That's not lying. That's coming from a different space. Like that's what you're going to be dealing with. Yeah, dealing with over the next like 6 months, especially for this round, because then we go, because you also have the solar eclipse, and then we go back to a lunar eclipse, but it's not going to be in Libra, right? Okay, so does that make sense? So right now, Saturn is asking you, and a lot of you are so used to, no, I want this. Yes, I want that. No, this is beautiful. This is not beautiful. No, I want my relationship this way and I want that way. And I don't think a lot of you realize that's not really what you want. But it's been put upon you by society, by your culture, by your parents, by your whatever, by your friends, by the things that you see around you. And where I'm going with this is Saturn in Pisces is asking us to reevaluate and look at our belief systems. Are our belief systems limiting? That's what she's saying. That's what he's saying to Venus too. What do you believe in? What do you believe you're worth? What do you believe you can have? What do you believe in? What has uh is your belief limiting or is it open to the sky? Like do you understand how much you're worth? Do you understand how much you matter in this world and society with people around you, in your family, with your partner? You know, that's what Saturn being in Pisces this whole 2.5 years that it's going to be in Pisces. It's already been in a year. But this whole time, it's asking us to look at our belief system. And now that it's talking to Venus, it's like we're looking at what I want you to look at what you can have. But what do you believe that you can have? I need you to understand your belief system. You need to take responsibility and say, well, I never, instead of like, well, I never get that and I never did. But maybe your belief system is that only good people get that, right? And if you believe only good people get that, and then you believe that you're not that good or you're not good enough, you don't even have to be bad, just not good enough, then you're not going to get that. That's what Saturn is asking us to do. Reevaluate and understand where you believe. What are your limiting beliefs? What are your restrictions in belief? What are your restrictions, Venus? What's restricting you from attaining and attracting and beautifying the things around you? Does that all that make sense to you guys? Xander says I'm Virgo ascendant in Libra. Lost my parents recently and been through cars and I can't read that other part. I'm so sorry. Oh, been through chaos the last 4 years. Yeah. Yeah. I felt like a lot of people had a big change. Like, well, yeah, obviously we all had a big change in the last 4 years, right? But I feel like a lot of people, especially the ones that are seeing me, have had it really, really tough. How do I know that? Because like attract like, and I've had it really, really tough. So, um, yeah. And you're a Virgo ascendant. Wow. I have a Virgo South node, so I know that overthinking, being too critical, I'm not enough, I didn't do it right, I can do it over again, like all of that. Yeah, I get it. It's the South node for me, so it means I've mastered it. It's the most comfortable space for me, so I can sort of sit back in it. It's the place where when I get tired or I'm not feeling well, that's what I do. I want to work extra hard and do extra things and organize extra and then be critical of myself. Does that make sense? I know that makes sense to you. Oh, the chat is working on the sun. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. I think she's getting it late. I think she's going back and looking at the beginning. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Um, that's the thing is this is just me beginning to teach you, or I'm not even teaching you guys. I'm just reminding you of some tools that we have on this earth and this life this time. And one of them is astrology, right? You guys are really evolved souls. I'm not teaching anything. I'm just reminding you. That's all I've ever done is just remind people of their path, of who they are, of what they came for, of, that's just it. And so I say that because I'm reminding you as the days go by, this is what Aquarius means. This is what Pisces means. This is what the sun means. This is what the moon means. This is what happens when they interact. This is blah, 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 blah. And I'm trying to bring it down to earth, right? And I'm getting to that point because once we're like 6 months, 8 months in, when I say the sun is talking to Mercury, y'all are going to be like, oh, I understand what that means. And then we can move on to the next level. The next level is like, well, because they're talking to them, now I'm going to teach you guys how to step into each sign. Hi, Dot. Oh, Dot. Hi. I'm so glad you made it. So I'm going to teach you guys how to like step into each sign, step into your Aquarius side, step into your Libra side, step into your Pisces side, step into your Sagittarius side. I'm going to teach you guys how to, again, I'm not teaching. I say that because that's the way we communicate, but I'm not teaching you. I'm just reminding you of what you all kind of already know. Monica. Hi, Cindi. Great to catch you. You're live. I'm Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Virgo Ascending. Seems very important area has fallen apart. Every time I try to bring light and push forward, something happens. You need to take another look at that, Monica. So why is it falling apart? I know that's not, there's something in there that you're, and again, I told you guys, we're not seeing it clearly. It's showing itself, but the end result's not showing itself. So these things are needing to, the perfect example is when I was doing the reading yesterday for, I can't remember what sign, but I was like, there's so much entangled web that it's going to take a while to untangle it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Um, I want to say, so if anybody is, and I will think I can put your stuff up here. If anybody wants to give me or has a question about their chart. Oh, wow. I am telling you, all of you guys have like really hard Pluto aspects, like me. Like I sit here and say, well, Pluto's heavy in my chart. It's heavy in y'all's chart too. Hi, Issa. I saw that you emailed me, Issa. I will get back to you this weekend. I have not had a chance, and I want to really give you the time so that we can get you on my schedule. Um, okay, so yeah, look at this, Monica. You are a Virgo ascending. So it's like my South Node. Like you're so critical of yourself. And then you have the Pluto right there. You really are trying to discover who you are in this life. So do you have a specific question? You are a Sun Aquarius, like I said. Where's your moon? You are a deep, deep thinker as an Aquarius. Oh, do you have trouble getting out of your head? Yeah. Yeah, that's a definite with that Aquarius sun. But do you have trouble getting out of your head? You have that, yeah, because you've got that deep, like you're a deep thinker, and feeler. Because you have that Aquarius sun, but that moon is in Scorpio. It's almost like you have a relationship. Do you have a partner? Because it's like you can have a relationship with yourself and not need anybody. But you're trying to figure out who you are, right? Yeah. So here's the thing. Remember the other day when I said this can kind of give you a this can kind of give you a hint about you. Okay. Remember when I said if everybody were to look at their chart and they look at their ascending, if you have a lot of your planets over here, you're trying to do inner work. It's not like you're not trying to live life out here. It's like you get your epiphanies, you get your growth, you get no, not your growth. You get your understanding, you get your epiphanies, you get your sense of self through inner work. It's not like outer work doesn't come. It's like inner work. This is it's like you want to like it's almost like you want to escape life and just do your inner work. That's how you feel. It's like anybody that has this, that's what they want to do. They want to like do the inner work and they don't want to do out there. Does that make sense? Now for you, I know you said that you've traveled, but that's because that's that's like your ninth. See Saturn in your ninth, right? It's like the Saturn in your ninth, you're trying to figure out like it's like there's something there, there's more knowledge there, there's something out there that could help you reflect back to you, mirror back to you, and give you a different aspect of understanding that you haven't gotten. That's the ninth house, the bigger house, right? It is Taurus. I mean, Saturn is in Gemini, um, which can get a little chaotic, but it is a Taurus house ruled, right? It's ruled by Taurus's house, right? Yes, definitely isolated. I would see that because you see all of this, you're trying to like, you have all these planets here because you're trying that, and that's your north node. Okay, so I will say this: you got lucky, and we all know. I'm just gonna say it that way, but we all know we didn't get lucky. We just made it the way we made it, right? Where Dot had the Saturn right next to her north node, you have Venus right next to your north node. So I will tell you this: when you do you, and not, and it's so hard to try to figure out because you got the moon in Scorpio what you is, and you're trying to identify who am I, what am I supposed to be doing here. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be this person in my body, this is a different culture, I'm in the wrong place, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like you feel like that, and you're so deep at the Scorpio moon, but you get rewarded when you do this as you figure yourself out. Did you see my Monica, did you see my video for Pluto in the first house? You need to go watch that. That's very important for you. Um because you are, and this is, and you got it retrograde, which means you've tried this many times in different lives. You many times in different lives. Okay? You're going to do it this time cuz you met me. You're gonna do it this time because you met me. We're all gonna do it since you met me. Like, trust me, I'm not one to repeat a lot, so we're gonna do it. Uh, yes, yeah. Rewatch. This is really important for you. But I'm telling you, when you can get your sense of, maybe look at it this way, Monica. It's not that you're one person or one identity. It's that which one are you going to choose to be more of in this life? So it's not a right, we're all thinking like it's a right or wrong answer. I'm this and I'm not that, right? You're all of it. You've always been all of it. You just have to decide with the way that life is, with where I put myself in this country, with the fact that I put myself in this country, with the fact that I have the people around me, what aspects, who am I in that? Does that help? Who am I in that? Right? You've been through identity crisis after identity crisis after identity crisis, because what happens is when you get tired and you want to do and be like, well, oh, I almost cursed, sorry. When you're like, oh, forget it, I'm just gonna be who they think they are. They think I'm this, and so I'm gonna be this. Well, guess what? Pluto's like, no, you're not. And I'm gonna show you some trauma, right? And I'm laughing because what are we gonna do? Laugh or cry, right? That's what's gonna that's what happens. Like when you give up and you don't do you, Pluto's like, I'm gonna show you some trauma, and you're really not gonna be happy. And then you're gonna have to go isolate, and then you have to go try to figure it out, and then you're gonna have to like re-identify, and then you're gonna be mad, and then you're not gonna love anybody, and then you're gonna, like, it's this cycle that you're doing over and over. And Aquarius sun, your sun is like, what the hell? Why can't I figure it out? A plus B equals C. I've done it a different way. But you have until you haven't, right? Dot, that's so funny. Somebody should make a Pluto handbag. Somebody needs to make a Pluto handbag and we'll sell it. That would be cool. Or each, yeah, Pluto handbag. Yeah. I've learned to let go a lot. It's not, yeah, but I'm telling you, so you need to go. So one, you need to go watch the Pluto series again. You need to go watch the Pluto series, especially because you've got a lot of stuff down here. Okay. But secondly, the key is when you do you, once you identify who you is, who you have decided to be, who you want to be now through your experiences, through when you understand from like the fourth house, just because that is my lineage does not mean that that's me. I am me. I am a small girl from Chi-Town who traveled the world. That's a very different small girl from Chi-Town who didn't. Um, when you do that and decide, this is who I am, this is who I want to be in this life, it doesn't mean that I'm not those other things. It means that this is how I want to represent. This is what I want in my life. When you do that, you have so much reward here. That's your North Node. And Venus is right there to, like, Venus, she'll just keep giving you money, giving you things, giving you beauty, giving you. Like, sometimes Saturn has to go over there and like calm her down. Or yeah, because Mars isn't even any better with her. I see and feel that profoundly. Perfect. Okay, Monica. Perfect. All right. Um, who was the next one? Angela? Okay, I'm gonna do Angela, then I'm gonna do Kathy, because Kathy has been here the whole time. Kathy has been here. So you guys think of a question, or if you just kind of want me to look at it. So I'll do Kathy, and then I'll do Angela, and then I'll do Kathy. Okay, and then I'll probably have to go by then. So you're welcome. And again, if you guys want to come see me, we'll work on your stuff. We'll look at your stuff. Um, and then we'll see what we see, right? We'll help you get through this stuff.